What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Nick from Worked Training and Nutrition, and today we're here to talk about the best diet foods or the best types of foods that you can eat when you're on a diet. It's a little bit of a clickbaity title because, to be honest, there's no special food. That acai berry bowl that you're eating at the local shop that opened up isn't gonna magically drop some pounds off of you. This talk today is based on something called the Satiety Index, which basically how satiating or filling are the foods that you can eat. So a big part of being on any diet at all is that there is hunger involved, right? And that's where most people kind of fall off plan or give in to temptation. So by eating foods that land high on the satiety scale, we can kind of prevent that hunger and hopefully sustain our diet until we get to our goal weight and then back off and relax a little bit. So a little bit of background on this study and where we came up with the numbers and how they kind of created this whole index. I believe the study was in 1995 in Australia. They took groups of people and they fed them all different types of foods and they tracked how full they were every 15 minutes for 120 minutes total. And from the results of these groups, they created a scale essentially. And it's on a percentage base. The baseline of this study is 100%, and that is where white bread sits. So always kind of keep in the back of your mind that white bread is 100%, and all these numbers are based off of how much more satiating or how less satiating each one of these foods are. So if we kind of look over here on the graph, I've kind of laid out all the different categories that they fed. We'll start with proteins first. So at the top of the list was fish, coming in at 225%. So essentially what that means is that fish is 125% more satiating than white bread. And that's kind of how you can think about these percentages as we work our way through. Next up is beef at 176%, and then eggs at 156%. We can kind of move over to this category here, carbohydrates. Shockingly, people think potatoes are not a great diet food. They come in at the best food to eat if you're just looking for total fullness. So they're at 323%, a full 223% above white bread. Right below that, we got oatmeal or porridge, they call it, at 209%. And then we got brown wheat pasta at 188%. On the other side of the chart here, we got fruit. Oranges come in at the top of the list at 202%, apples at 197%, and grapes at 162%. And then the worst of the foods are croissants at 47%, cake at 65%, and donuts at 68%. This is something you can look up the entire list if you just Google Satiety Index, and you'll find the study and you'll find a huge list of foods. So you can kind of pick and choose the ones on the higher on the list that you enjoy. But the whole premise here is that anything outside of these foods doesn't mean that they are bad foods or that you can't eat them on a diet at all. But if you are struggling with hunger during your fat loss diet, it would really help you if you kind of knew this information and you can kind of include the foods that you do enjoy that are high on the satiety index in order to help you kind of get through the diet a little bit easier. I know personally I add a lot of potatoes in my diet when I'm trying to lose fat. They keep me full, they're easy, you could boil them, air fry them, very simple. Kind of overall consensus of the entire satiety study was that foods that were higher in protein, higher in fiber, and higher in water content were more filling, and they had tended to have a higher satiety index percentage, whereas foods higher in fat, although contrary to popular belief, were actually lower on the satiety index. So if you're looking for like a midday snack or something, you might be better off just going for an orange or an apple instead of a bag of trail mix or nuts or something like that. Or that double tablespoon of peanut butter that we all know I love, and so many of you out there. None of these foods have any type of magical ability. No food you eat is going to make you lose weight. Every food has calories, which is energy, and you need to be burning that energy. So you need to be consuming less calories than you are burning in order to lose weight. This satiety index is just something that you can use to help guide you to make better choices on the diet so that you're less hungry, you're less likely to overeat more often, and you're more likely to succeed on your diet in the long run. And of course, the one caveat here, guys, is that this is all subjective data. This is people's feelings about how full they are, but enough people were in the study that we got pretty good feedback and it all tended to kind of go in the same direction. So I think it's useful and valid information For you though, you may have individual preferences between some of these things, but you make the best choices for your personal preferences, and I think it'll help a lot. If you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.